Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for Singapore FinTech coverage is Yali, Head of Zhangle Global at Waitai International, to discuss the kinds of innovative tools, apps, and data sets retail investors are most interested in. Yali, it's great to meet you virtually. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you, Jill. It's my pleasure to be invited.
As a leader in retail brokerage industry serving 40 million clients globally, tell us what contributes to the success of Waitai International.
Okay. I think maybe we start from the Huatai Securities, which is our headquarters based in Nanjing in China. So Huatai is probably one of the leading retail brokerage back in China. So we have a very famous apps called Zhangle Fortune Pass. That's, as Jill just mentioned, we have like 15 million customers on top of that app. And then the monthly active user has just reached 10 million since of August. So it's quite amazing number compared to all the other the apps that generated by the security firms back in China. So if you ask me what contribute to the big success back in China at our hometown, I would say that early adoption of mobile technology or the whole technology infrastructure from the very beginning. We started to invest a lot on technology since 2009. That's even before mobile phones become more penetrated in China. So the senior management already see a vision that eventually all the trading will go mobile. So we started to invest in that technology infrastructure a long time ago. So after the past 10 years efforts, because we build all the interactive and all the data and all the information into our apps, and to make sure that all the investors can use the app to access data, the market at any time and anywhere when they want it. So if you ask me like what contributes to Huatai's success as of now, I would say the early adoption of mobile technology earlier from like 10 years ago. But there might be more competitions comes in because we only solve the mobile technology only solve the first problem when people do the investment, and that is accessibility. So basically mobile gives you the access anywhere, anytime that you can access the market. The second stage will be becoming like when and where and what should I invest, right? So this is coming into a second stage. So which is Huatai is actually right now building is the platform-based infrastructure. What we mean by platform is that we're trying to link the advisor and then the investor together. So it's going to be an open stage platform that built by Huatai. So we have a Zhangle Fortune Pass, which is targeted at our retail clients who can access the market for their investment. And then we also have another apps called Arota. So that is used by the advisor in Huatai Securities. So the advisor or investment advisories, they can use that Arota application, which connected to the Fortune Pass, which is used by the investor to gather information about clients' requirement and clients' demands, and then serves better to the client. So basically, we're open. We have an open platform that link the producer and the consumer together. So this is a platform like an idea or strategy that we're implementing inside of China at the moment. So I would think this is the fintech 2.0 towards more user-friendly investment advisory or wealth management platform. And besides that, we go international. So that's why we have Zhangle Global, which is another application that we build outside of China, which is actually the apps that I'm running right now. So we build Zhangle Global, which is a similar, we'll call it a twin platform as a Zhangle Fortune Pass back in onshore market, while Zhangle Global focus on the offshore market, which cover the US trading, Hong Kong trading. Later on, we'll go Singapore and London and all the global markets. So basically, these two twin platform under the same brand name of Zhangle is going to provide the whole access to global market in the future. So all our client will be using these two platform going to get access to the global asset allocation and then everything they wanted to trade. So that's one of probably the three things that contribute to Huatai successful as of now. Yeah.
And Yali, that's my question to you. With more and more fintech players reaching out to investors with innovative products and apps, what makes Waitai International differentiate itself from the rest?
So as I said earlier, early adoption is definitely one of the give us the startup like early start advantage. And then later on, we wanted to have a platform based like we wanted to go from the fintech 1.0 with accessibility to the 2.0, help the clients or investors to get better investment opportunities. And then because of the because of the wealth accumulation and the wealth preservation requirement coming back from China, because we see mass affluence and the high net worth wealthy people accumulating in China, and then they do have a requirement for asset allocation, not only trading itself. So basically, the next step for us is going to turning from I would say supply set of service to demand set of service. So we will provide a wealth management platform instead of just a channel based, which is only trading focus on. Highly trading focus on the channel-based platform to a wealth management platform. So we wanted to do the transformation from a pure channel business to a wealth management business, which means that we wanted to have better advisory roles, and then we want to have more diversified assets, and then also some kind of like asset allocation solutions or strategies provided to our clients.
And we see many new investors across APAC getting more interested in diversifying their investment portfolios and seeking opportunities in the U.S. market. Do you think it's sustainable, and is it a longer-term trend?
That's a very good question, because like we do see like not even only in Huatai, but also like for all our competitors here back in China or Hong Kong. So the trading on the U.S. market has overrun the data in Hong Kong. The trading volumes in the U.S. market has overrun the trading volume in Hong Kong market. So basically, originally people would think that Hong Kong is closer to China, and then the market is more familiar, the culture is more familiar to the Chinese people. But we do observe the phenomenon of like a lot of Chinese people based on mainland or even offshore globally, they have more interest in the US market. I would say that this is probably because of like two main reasons. First of all, like globalization is probably one irreversible like process. Once you get access to the US and then you know you cannot shut the door right away. So like people just know there's a lot of good technology companies is only listed in US, and then you have a better investor base, and you have better investor structures in the US market, and then liquidity in the US market is way higher compared to the rest of the world. And then that is one of the best market that you have to go to get a global access for especially technology or biotech and all this like a new generation of promising sectors of new listed companies. And then the other trend that we see is that there are, of course, like with the wealth preservation accumulation in China, and then there will be a hard requirement for them to diversify their portfolio outside of China. So they wanted a global asset allocation just to avoid the single country risk from the one perspective. And on the other side, they want to take advantage of other countries, like a rise of price and then the pickup of their economy. So basically that requirement gives us like a must to find out the best investment strategies or markets for our clients. And then of course the money will go to money is always smart. They go to the place that we can and that they can make money out of it, right? So and the US market has become one of the things that they cannot just overlook. And that's why a lot of China new economy company go to US for listing. And that's attributed to the second aspect of the Chinese investor or APAC's investors' interest in the US market, because they do see their homeland economy good, like their homeland technology firm go to Nasdaq for listing, for example, and then you see that the new mobile car, like the electronic car, that it probably trading the highest volume for the past couple months in Nasdaq. And then we also see all different kinds of like a Pinduoduo, and then all this like new economy listed companies like traded high volume, and they attract a lot of attentions not only in China but also globally, right? So and the reason that why Chinese people will be or APAC people become more interested in the U.S. market is that take Pinduoduo as example. That's something that they use on a daily basis. And then once Pinduoduo listed on one of the market, they would like to know like what is happening to that stock. So that brought into the natural attention to this market. So if you're asking me, like, given that we all know that there's a tension between China and the U.S. in like a sensitive topics that we wouldn't jeopardize, we wouldn't anticipate at the moment. But I believe that with the more globalization, and then there will be all freedom for listed company to go anywhere for listing, that will be attribute to the more bigger attention coming to Nasdaq, because that's one of the best exchange in the world, because just because of the higher volume and all the diversity of the investors. Yeah, so I would think that will be a continued trend, not until there are some political issues that stop it from happening. Yeah.
But Yali, it's a great point that you bring up. So when we talk about the tools and the data sets that are important to Waitai clients, what exactly are your clients looking for in terms of market data and analytics?
That's a really good question. I would think, like, theoretical speaking, if I'm doing a stock investment, the only thing that I care about can be coming from two time, when I trade in and when I trade out. So when I trade in, there might be some data comes into objective data. So for example, what is the liquidity and whether the market goes up and down? What is the in-depth data? So I want to see the order book. Will there be more demand compared to supply? That's all objective data, like a objective data. So the more data that they have, and then of course one of the biggest things that people wanted to look for is the supply and demand. I want to see at the moment, or at current moment, for the past couple of days, whether there's more buys or more sales. That means that there's we want to see the momentums in the market. So that's one thing, that's all the objective ones. And then also people also looking for subjective information, something like whether there's a breaking news or there's a merger or acquisition. Is there any events happening for that company? And then there's any comments coming from Twitter, from blogger, from all the WeChat groups, and from the QQ chats and stuff like that. So that's all subjective. So basically, people wanted to look at all the data, even though when they wanted to decide whether I wanted to trade in. And then the second part is coming from trade out. So trade out is more like whether there's a negative news coming into the market for specific positions that I have right now. And then, so from the application perspective, like for all the negative news comes into the positions that I have at the moment for the investor, then if there's a negative news, people always wanted to know, because they wanted to decide whether I should stop loss or I should take profit at the moment. So basically trade in and trade out, and then there can be subjective and objective data. So and then more and more retail investors or individual investors become more sophisticated. So they wanted to, some of them even have their own trading strategies. They will combine multiple signals together, and then the signal can be demand and supply, liquidity, and who is buying and who is selling. And then I want to see the in-depth data. So I want to see like how many people on the level 2 and level 3 of my order book and stuff like that. So all those things, I think will be more, interesting to like all clients are looking for that, even though they probably don't know how to most wisely use it, but they still think it's good to know. And then coming from like the presentation, I think the simplest way for the individual retail investor to understand, and a more consolidated view. So basically, if we can consolidate all the trade-in available, like all the things that may impact your trading decisions in a consolidated view, and then allow them to show in a more simplified way for them to make a simple decision, that will be better for retail clients. And so that's the analytic tool that we're trying to build. Yeah.
And Yali, I'd like to learn more about your collaboration with Nasdaq, because it sounds like a couple of Nasdaq's products definitely support your clients.
Right. So basically, our collaboration with Nasdaq started from last year. I think we signed a contract with Nasdaq, and I don't remember if I said 1 year or 2 years contract, but basically right now we provided the base data to the level 1 data to all our clients. And then if some of the clients has actually applied for our membership, it's a membership based, then we will offer the in-depth, the total view, like a result, 40 levels of data to our clients. And I think a lot of, surprisingly, a lot of people would apply for this, membership in order to get access to that data, because they think if the more in-depth data I can see at the moment in the market will be helping them to make a decision whether I should place a more aggressive order or more conservative order in order to get it done. And they also see the liquidity coming from both sides. So people are getting smarter, and then the more like they wanted to see more transparent in terms of like the what is happening in the market. The more data they have, and then the better decision they can have. Yeah. Yep. So Nasdaq definitely help us a lot in that space.
Yeah. Totally is a very popular product in the United States as well. So Yali, to wrap up here, with its investment in technology and infrastructure, what's next for Waitai internationally? What's your aspiration to move forward?
Let me think. Like maybe we can summarize in 3 aspects. The first one, we want to go digital, and by going digital, I mean it's not only for providing an apps for the client to access it. We wanted to build from the security firm's perspective. We wanted to go digital from the front office to middle office and to back office. We want to streamline the whole process to make sure that the user has a better experience in terms of when they place an order, when they have the settlement, when there's a corporate action, and then all these things. We wanted to go digital, not only externally, but also internally. So that's one thing which is the highly investment in technology comes in, digital. And the second thing is that we want to go international. So that means like, that's why we have this Zhangle Global to complete whatever that we have in China onshore market, is Zhangle Fortune Pass. So these 2 platforms is going to provide global access for all the markets that the client will be looking for. And then the third one is that we wanted to go personal. So basically, as we mentioned earlier, I think with the wealth preservation and then people getting more demand from the wealth preservation perspective and accumulation perspective, and it's changing the business model, changing from supply set of service to demand set of service. So basically, the client will be always looking for a personalized service. So the demand should be coming from my own perspective. So we will use big data and artificial intelligence, all this advanced technology, to analyze the user behavior, the user profile, in order to provide a personalized service to our clients. So I think that's that's going to be the 3 things that we're going to do in the near future. And it's probably, I think once Huatai done that, we'll probably become successful again in the next 5 or 10 years. Yeah.
Yali, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.